Thank you all. We hope you're keeping well and looking forward to today's event. Some of you have joined us for the first time today, finding us via the Destination Show virtual event last week, signing up for our newsletters and events. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you all on board. I'm Sunita, one of the travel specialists. Lebanon, a country that has had a turbulent past and made headlines for various reasons. Somewhere among all that news, usually reality is lost. Contrary to the perception created around it, Lebanon is one of the safer countries to visit. The country's amazing archaeological sites, stunning landscapes, and gourmet experiences are not easily forgotten by any traveler. Lebanon is not just another country, but an all-round experience. It is so easy to fall in love with this country, beautiful country, and the warm and friendly people. Those of you who have already traveled to the country bear testimony to that fact. Last August, when the devastating explosion occurred in the port of Beirut, we were overwhelmed with messages of care and concern for our staff and the people there, and each one of you wanting to help. Your donations to the Lebanese Red Cross have gone a long way in helping thousands of affected people. A sincere thanks to all of you for your support. Resilient as Beirut is, it is fast getting back on its feet and ready to welcome visitors once again. We are very pleased to have with us two lovely ladies today, Pauline and Rawan. Both of them were born and raised in Lebanon, and through their work in the field of tourism, they want travelers to see and experience what Lebanon truly is and bust the myth surrounding the country. Pauline Daher has been working as tour guide with our local partner in Lebanon since 2002. She studied art, archaeology, and museology at university and is fluent in 4 languages: Arabic, French, English, and Spanish. Pauline has led familiarization trips around the country for journalists and tour operators. She will be taking us through the presentation today. Rawan Rida studied hospitality management and worked in different departments in luxury hotels in Dubai and Lebanon. She then decided to join her family's long-established tourism business and manages Travel the Unknown's operations in Beirut. As always, the presentation will be followed by a quick overview of our tours and then the question answers. Please ensure your mics remain muted and videos remain off at all times. Please send us any questions through the chat box and we will take them up during the question answer round. Now I shall hand you over to Pauline for the presentation. Over to you, Pauline.
Thank you so much. We would like to welcome you all to Lebanon, and we hope to see you this time really present in Lebanon. I will take you now over a virtual tour, waiting your actual presence. Welcome to Lebanon. Ahla wa sahla. This is how we say it, literally. Ahlan wa sahlan. This is Beirut, our capital, with more than 1 million inhabitants. Beirut, our capital, Lebanon, such a small country located on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean. It's mainly Mediterranean country. Mediterranean, small country, 10,452 square kilometers. It's mainly mountainous place. We have 6 million inhabitants, and you see the flag, Lebanese flag, with the cedar tree, the symbol of our country, the millennia tree. We have along the coast about 230 kilometers of seashore, and we share 300 kilometers of borders with Syria, our neighbor, and with Israel or occupied Palestinian territories. We have 80 kilometers of borders. Next, multilingual people. You can communicate with the people in the street, taxi drivers, restaurants. Most of the people working in cafes, bars, restaurants are Lebanese, and they speak multiple languages. Arabic is our official language. We speak also English and French. you will feel welcome, as Sonita was mentioning. We have, as a Mediterranean country, a moderate Mediterranean climate, which consists of 4 seasons. Winter, actually now we are in winter, we have snowy peaks, autumn, spring, and summer. Different activities that can be practiced despite the size of the country. It is packed of places to visit, sport activities, bird watching, stargazing, skiing, along with cultural activities, ruins, and museums. We have hiking, paragliding, parasailing, mountain biking, snow activity or water activities in the rivers. It is such a beautiful combination for different ages and interests. In one day, you can combine different cultural activities and sport activities. And it's not only cliche in guidebooks. Actually, you can do it. You can go in the morning for skiing and less than 1 hour drive back to the coast and have a swim in the Mediterranean. And it is possible, especially in springtime, in March. You know by now that Lebanon is located on the eastern shore of the Mediterranean. It is close to all these 4 continents. Such a short trip from Europe brings you to Beirut, direct flight. It can be a short weekend destination or a longer destination where it can be combined with other countries in the area, Jordan, Cyprus, Egypt, for example. Famous people from Lebanon. We have in the showbiz Amal Clooney after her wedding with George Clooney. We have Elie Saab, the famous Lebanese designer, and we have many others like Zohair Murad, Reem Akra, and many, many others that we hear their names on red carpets. And Shakira was one of the famous Lebanese, half Colombian, Salma Hayek, and many others that are in politic or in medical sector. We have many Lebanese, as it was written before, in Lebanon, 6 million inhabitants, and abroad we have more than 10 million contributing in the culture and life abroad in different countries since ages. We have Lebanese community that are helping and contributing abroad as well. I don't know if you've heard about these famous designers. Okay, Rachel. Definitely, one of the famous attraction in Lebanon is food. Mediterranean, healthy food, fresh ingredients. It's a ceremony. Every time you sit at the table, it's a feast. We have different appetizers, different plates. It's an attraction for the eyes first, before of the palate. Famous hummus, famous baba ganoush, kibbe, tabbouleh, fresh salads. These are meze. You have main course, and after you have sweets and dessert. Even though it is healthy, but you still have the risk of gaining weight when you visit Lebanon because it is tasty, not because it's not healthy. It's healthy, and it has such variety that we gain over time with different culture. Turkey, Greece, and many other countries that contributed in the enrichment of our cuisine. These are different desserts. Wine making and arak, our national alcoholic drink, is common in Turkey, in Greece. It is a colorless drink, alcoholic drink, that once mixed with water and turned to white. We call it in Lebanon arak. It is raki in Turkey or ouzo in Greece. And we have also wine making. It was established by the French Jesuit fathers, but we used to have our own production in Lebanon as far back our ancestors for years, the Phoenicians and winemaking. Ksara winery, along food, drinks, local beer, local wine, arak. We have also famous nightlife, best nightlife. Many articles, Guardians, CNN, different magazines talked about famous rooftops in Lebanon. Bar hopping, we can go from bar to another. You have rooftops, you have beach party at the sea in weekend along the sandy beach, and the party fun can continue till 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, because of the coronavirus, definitely everything was closed. It was not allowed. They opened it just for a period of time during festivity, New Year Eve and Christmas. The casino, one of the unique casinos we have in the region, the Casino du Liban. We have restaurants for fine dining, international cuisine. We have good restaurants in hotels. In this slide, we see Beirut, our capital, modern city that includes as well archaeological sites, and the downtown area that was damaged during the Civil War. It is back to life, and they were able to save more than 300 buildings. We see this yellowish colored stone. We see also the minaret of an old mosque in Beirut downtown. We visit many museums. We visit archaeological sites, churches, and mosques. I hope you are enjoying this virtual tour. We continue. Mountains that are very close to the coast. Like 2-hour drive from Beirut, you reach Sharri, the hometown of a famous Lebanese artist. I don't know if you heard about the author, the writer of the Prophet. This is his hometown, home village. And at the same time, you visit a cedars forest, and you can walk down in the Qadisha Valley, where we have rock-cut monasteries and churches. We continue. Now in Sharri, we have snow. We had the storm already, and tomorrow we are expecting another one. As I've mentioned before, in Beirut downtown, we visit mosques, churches, museums, and in one day, you can combine the city walk, Beirut, downtown, the Corniche, and we can go to a natural cave, Jaita Cave. And we have also famous religious attractions, the Our Lady of Lebanon, and the famous Baalbek ruins. We continue. So we have, as I've mentioned before, Lebanon is such a small country, but it is packed with places to visit, attractions, cultural activities, sports activities, even staying in Beirut. You don't have to change from a hotel to another. You can start leaving Beirut, going to the north, to the south, or to the interior in the Bekaa Valley. In one day, you visit Baalbek, Roman ruins, Anjar, the Umayyad city, wine tasting, for example, in Ksara or in other wineries in the Bekaa Valley, and back every time to Beirut. And if you want also to pamper yourself, you want to stay overnight in Zahli, in the mountain area, or in a historical palace that has been restored and it's a hotel with 24 rooms. Also, it is possible. We have options to enjoy your stay in Lebanon. So you don't have to pack, unpack, and also you can enjoy visiting other places and escape big cities. Byblos also is a wonderful destination. Over here, we have in Lebanon 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We have the biblical Tyre with its triumphal arch. We have Anjar, the Umayyad city I've mentioned before, which can be combined with Baalbek, and it's the magnificent temple of Bacchus, the temple of the god of wine, Bacchus. It's a well-preserved Roman temple. Byblos, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities of the world, as far back 7000 BC, and the Qadisha Valley. It's a unique site in Lebanon because it's natural and cultural site that is protected by UNESCO among the 5 heritage sites. We continue. Beirut, our capital, amazing city, vivid, full of life. In Beirut downtown, we have churches, mosques, and synagogue. It's an old city. That's why we visit also ruins and archaeological sites, such as the Roman bath ruins. We have a Roman bath ruins in Beirut downtown. It was once called Paris of Middle East, the whole country, Switzerland of Middle East. We have wonderful museum, including the National Museum with its unique collection. We have also the Pigeon Rocks that I've mentioned also along the Corniche. It's one of the attractions and a landmark. So it's a must in every visitor's Beirut walk, Rausche Pigeon Rocks, and National Museum. We continue from Beirut. We travel to Tyre, 82 kilometers away. It was declared a UNESCO site in 1984. We see again the Triumphal Arch, and over there also in Tyre, in nearby, we have a beautiful hippodrome, 480 meters long, is among the large hippodrome or circus that was constructed by the Romans in 2nd century AD for 30,000 spectators. This is Tyre, the queen of the seas. In one day, we visit Tyre, we visit Sidon in the south, and we go back to Beirut. We travel in history. We visit as well Sidon. It's just 1 hour drive from Beirut, but it is a different place. It includes the castle that we see now in the slide. It's a medieval castle from the Crusader from 13th century, and you can walk along a souk, a marketplace, a vivid souk market place that is not far from Beirut, but yet it's in a different way, different style of living, back to the medieval time, back to the souk traditional way of living. Beit Din Palace, just 45 minutes drive from Beirut. We visit a palace from the 19th century. It is actually the summer residence of the president of the Lebanese Republic. It has been restored. Many rooms are open to public, and we see a mixture of different style, Ottoman, Damascene, and Italian style. Just 45 minutes drive from Beirut. Beit Din Palace. Not far from Beit Din, we have Deir el-Qamar. Deir el-Qamar was once the capital of Lebanon, back to 17th century. It is close to Beit Din. So in one day, we visit Beirut downtown, National Museum, and we go to the mountain area to Deir el-Qamar. It's one of the protected towns in Lebanon, and it has red roof tile that were brought from Italy, tradition from Italy, from Tuscany. We continue. As I've mentioned before, Anjar, in one day you visit the Bekaa Valley, driving from Beirut to Anjar. It's about 1 hour, 15 minutes. City that was declared a heritage site also in 1984. It is the Umayyad city from 8th century. You see ruins of beautiful Anjar. Continue our trip to Baalbek now, magnificent Roman site, huge temples that are still standing, Jupiter temple, and Bacchus. Bacchus temple is one of the unique temples of the world that are still in good shape. It's a beautiful site that you don't miss. World Heritage Site also since 1984. So we visit the ruins, Bacchus Temple, Venus, and Jupiter Temple. Jaita Cave that I've mentioned before. Jaita is a wonderful natural cave. Definitely you have seen maybe in your trip, but it's still a work of nature, decorated with stalactites and stalagmites, a wonderful place. Jaita Cave, 18 kilometers away from Beirut. It can be combined with other attractions as well, cultural or religious attractions. Byblos. I live not far from this place. It's an amazing place. We have a hill that was inhabited by humans as far back to Neolithic era. A layer of different civilization living in one place. It's an amazing site. We see the Fisherman Harbor and the Crusader Castle above on the hill. Byblos, also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We continue. And all of these are really closed. And this is Tripoli, also not far from Beirut. It's only 82 kilometers drive from Beirut. It's the capital of the northern part of the country, and it's an amazing place. It's really going back in history with its old quarter, the Crusader Castle, constructed by Raymond from Toulouse. We visit the castle and we go down to the souk area. It is such a vivid city, well known for its sweets and desserts. And offshore Tripoli, we have a natural reserve where we have sea bird migrating birds, and it's an important place that has been protected by Lebanon. the Palms Island, offshore Tripoli. It's Tripoli in Lebanon, not Tripoli in Libya. It means the three cities, Tripolis. We continue the Qadisha Valley that we've mentioned also before, with Jubran village, the hometown of the famous Lebanese writer Jubran Khalil Jubran, and the Qadisha Valley, where we can make a hiking tour to visit the churches and rock-cut monasteries. And the cedars also. They are one of the unique natural and cultural sites that are protected by UNESCO. We continue. The cedars. It is now snowy. As I mentioned before, we had a storm already. We are expecting another one coming. Beautiful cedars at about 2,000 meters above sea level. The symbol of the country, the renown of our civilization. Our ancestors, the Canaanites and the Phoenicians, used to trade with timber, especially with cedar wood. We continue. We have forests in the cedars and also in southeast of Beirut. Batara waterfall is among the waterfalls we have in Lebanon. It's one of the beautiful natural three bridges. It's a sinkhole that is active mainly in the winter and in springtime with melted snow. It's a beautiful natural attraction. Batara waterfall. We continue. I hope you really enjoyed your virtual tour, and really excuse the cut off. Shukran, it means thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. And it is now your turn if you want to ask any questions. And I repeat my invitation, mostly welcome to Lebanon.
Thank you so much, Pauline. That has really whet our appetite, and looks like from seeing all the comments, everyone is really enjoying it.
Thank you.
Let me bring up my screen now, take everyone quickly through the tours, and then we'll go for the question answer round. So let's start with some of our tours. We have the Hidden Lebanon tour, which is an 8-day trip. And as the name suggests, there are a lot of offbeat bits also covered in this trip. While there are these wonderful sites that Pauline talked about in Baalbek, Sidon and Tyre, Byblos, but then there are also very many other lesser known ones and some stunning landscapes, which are all covered in this trip very comfortably in 8 days, because it is a small country and it is very easy to cover all that. We run group trips in May as well as November, and we have bookings right up to May 2022. So, which is great, and all going well, these trips will run as normal. There is a shorter first-timers trip, which covers all the highlights, called Essential Lebanon. It is a 6-day trip, and it focuses mainly on the well-known sites and little other experiences. Here again, we run 2 trips in May as well as in October. Gourmet Lebanon. So now, as we saw in the pictures, all those delicious eats, food is a very big part of the Lebanese culture, as we all know. And apart from these sites, also especially, even though it's a small country, but different places have their own touch of preparing things. So this, you can cover it well with visiting the sites, and as well as the different delicacies of different places, learn to make those and eat and enjoy. So this is what this tour is all about. It is a private trip, so it can be modified to suit your requirements. It can be longer, shorter, or like, any experiences can be added more, can be added. Then we have what we call as a suggested itinerary for a tailor-made trip. Lebanon is a fantastic place for hiking too, because as you've seen, the Bekaa Valley, the Qadisha Valley, and Pauline talked about all those beautiful, lovely landscapes where the cave monasteries are, and Khalil Gibran's museum is. Those are also excellent places for hiking. You have the option of either staying in a city and doing gentle hikes, or you can do staying at homestays. So this again can be tailored to suit your requirements, and we can put something together in line with your requirements. Going quickly through the general information about the country, they are 2 hours ahead of us, and there are direct flight options from UK and European countries. Middle Eastern Airlines is their own national carrier, and it is a fantastic full-service airline. Visas can be obtained on arrival for UK and most of the nationalities. They do not cost anything. They're free of charge as long as there's no Israeli stamp on your passport, because that can cause a problem getting a visa. Their currency is the Lebanese pound. Most of the hotels have ATMs there, and ATMs are also well located around the cities. There are many money changers. Credit cards are widely accepted, so currency is just not a problem at all. April to June or September to November are typically the best months to travel if you want to avoid the hottest and the coldest months. Of course, if you're looking at skiing, then you might want to go during the winter months. But now that takes us to the question answer round. So Pauline, can we have you back again, please? And let's have the question. So is Lebanon an expensive country?
Not, especially now with money change, the exchange rate is very good and very affordable, and you can get really good price. So for the official rate is, for the time being, $1, for example, is 3,900 Lebanese lira. So really, meals are very affordable. It's now even better attraction because of the money change, the exchange rate through dollar. Like a good meal of 20 US dollar with wine included, or 50, it depends. Street food also. Street food is very affordable and very tasty and clean.
Street food, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something worth trying actually when in Beirut or any other places, wherever it is possible, isn't it?
Yeah. Other questions?
Thank you. And is the water, like beaches? Beirut doesn't really have any beaches, but where the beaches are is the water nice and clean for swimming?
Definitely. As I mentioned, we have the natural reserve that we can go to in summertime. We have a beautiful sandy beach in Tyre. Is amazing white sand. It's a beautiful destination, Tyre. Also, we have in Byblos a small sandy beach, clean and well equipped. But also in Beirut, you have like La Plage. You can go to places in Beirut itself to swim in the Mediterranean, listen to music, have drinks, and eat well in these restaurants along the Corniche. It is possible also to go in Beirut itself.
Fantastic.
Other questions?
When does it typically start to snow?
Regarding the snow period in Lebanon, it's usually in the winter time. Usually it snows in January, or especially in December before the Christmas, so you will have the ski season. But it depends. Each year it's changing. But this is the mainly this is the period.
This is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Possibly. And I think it is because I remember there was still a bit of snow when in May when I visited. So,
yes, it depends on the weather. Usually it also goes mainly March, May. It depends on the weather.
it's all on the weather, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes winter can extend. Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Thank you. Is scuba diving a possibility?
Yes, also it is possible. We have many beaches, and we have also scuba diving schools, and well equipped. We have well trained people to do the scuba diving.
Right. Okay. So that's good to know. And the southern parts, is it? You said near Sidon and all that. Is that where you would recommend?
Yes, we have also in the north.
Okay.
And in Tyre.
In Tyre. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. And when does it really rain? And is it Do you get heavy rains or one can travel during the time?
Yes, even with rain, you still can enjoy. It might be pouring rain for like 1 hour. You can hide for some time till it stops. We have 300 sunny days, by the way.
That's true. That's why you enjoy that kind of winter when you have the snow, but at the same time you have the sun and it brings some warmth.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, and how is it post the explosion last August? How do you think Beirut is coping? Where is it at? And is it ready to receive visitors?
Definitely. Thank you so much for your contribution. Uh, it is now coming back to life. Beirut is alive and it's kicking. That's in our character. It is coming back. You still see in some area some damage from the blast,
Yeah.
but that's it. Restaurants, bars, coffee shops, uh, they will open soon after the corona. Actually, we are going to start next week with the vaccination.
Next week. Okay. So that's good news because as more and more people get vaccinated here and also in
Abroad.
Lebanon, it just kind of makes you feel safer in terms of health.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, that's good to know. Thank you. And the next,
Other questions?
what is the bird life there like, and where would you recommend going for birding?
Definitely. It's also among the destinations in the region. We have in the Bekaa Valley, the wetland of Ammik. We have two declared protected marine protected sites in Lebanon, and we have a list on coming places that will be declared and protected. We have migrating birds, and we have beautiful areas to enjoy this activity, the stargazing as well,
Yes.
among other activities.
Oh, stargazing too. That should be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Thank you. And how long does Baalbek take to drive from Beirut?
it is 2 hours drive, but if you want, we can go first to Anjar,
To Anjar, yeah.
have a break, visit, and we continue from Anjar to Baalbek, 1 hour drive. So 1 hour, 15 minutes to Anjar.
Yes.
We visit Anjar, and then we go to Baalbek, 1 hour drive. Or we can go straight from Beirut to Baalbek, 2 hours drive. And as I
Right.
mentioned, it can be included with wine tasting stops
Yes.
and lunches that can be served in Zahle,
Yeah.
famous for its Lebanese food, hotels in the region, or wineries. Wineries are offering also international and Lebanese food menus.
Brilliant. And if somebody wants to spend longer in Baalbek, they can actually stay closer at Zahle?
Definitely, they can stay in hotels in Zahle or in Baalbek itself.
In Baalbek itself too.
Yes, in Baalbek itself, if they want to see the site in the morning. Like last time, we did uh, one night in Zahle, and the next day we did bird watching in Ammik, because bird watching you have to be early in the morning is better.
Yes.
So it was really a good planned. Anjar Baalbek, stay overnight in Zahle. Next day, visit Ammik wetland for bird watching, and then we continue to Betidin Palace from 19th century, and overnight there as well.
Right. That's a good option actually to combine various things. And if somebody
Yes,
wants to do about 2 weeks, then they can spend like more time at each place and kind of
definitely,
soak in the ambience, isn't it?
definitely, and
Yeah.
enjoy Byblos as well, because it really deserves a night stay, Byblos, especially in
Absolutely.
summer with its pubs and bars.
And the souk also, it was quite a fun experience walking there.
Yeah, yeah,
Personally, too, I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
that Byblos is definitely, it merits more
yeah,
time overnight, as you say. So, and
yeah.
but is there any kind of problem with the refugees crossing over from Syria? Are there, or were there any kind of problems along the border?
No, nowadays, security-wise, it is pure all over security. Only when it started, we were afraid when the war started in 2011
Yes,
in Syria, but now it ended.
yes,
We received about 2 million refugees. Many went back to Syria, like 500,000 went back to Syria,
yes.
or they went to a third country. So in this term, now it's happening the opposite. They are going back to Syria. And
Oh,
70% of the refugees, they stayed among us. Only 30% stayed in refugee camps, in tents, especially in the Bekaa Valley. Otherwise, they are living among us in apartment buildings.
okay. Yeah, in fact, Lebanon has really accommodated so many. I did meet someone there who was from this, like, a program, the refugee program, and they said Lebanon has really never, kind of given out the kind of numbers of refugees they have taken and the kind of economic pressure the country feels, housing all the refugees, giving them jobs, getting their children to go to school so that they can get jobs. And I think they're doing a commendable job, but it is again something, which gets hidden amongst all the other news. And these are the kind of things that people need to, only when they visit can they realize, isn't it?
Yes. And because of the Syrian refugee number presence and the high number and children needed to go to school, in 2011, the Minister of Education declared schools are open for everybody. And since then, we have a free public education. My brother works in education and he's giving classes online for Syrian students at the afternoon,
That's
morning
wonderful.
classes and afternoon classes. Till now, we have still programs running for Syrian refugees.
That's wonderful. That's really great what the country is doing. And how's public
We
transport
didn't
system?
close the border. We didn't close the border. So Lebanon hosted Palestinian refugees in 1948 and Syrians as well.
That's a, yes, those camps are still there, but that's the truth. I mean, the borders were never closed, and it was never risk to people traveling there, really.
Yeah,
So it was all
questions.
more political, anyways. So how's the public transport system there? If somebody wants to get around within the city and all, like, or from one city to
Yes,
the
it
other.
is real fun. It's real fun. We have buses for public transportation. I can give you advices once in Lebanon. And also it helps you because it's really cheap and it is slow. And it's a way to see people in their daily life and to go to places slowly in traffic. It's fun
Wonderful.
using
I
the
think, yeah,
bus. And also taxi drivers are really also uh, nice people, friendly, many friendly, and to talk about their life story in the ride. And we have also uh, the websites application taxis that you call. Also, they are working well.
oh, great. Okay.
Application,
So
yes,
they've set up additional sites.
yeah.
Great. Thank you. Are there any Druze holy sites that can be visited in the city, in the country?
Sorry, can you repeat, Sunita, the question?
The Druze holy sites.
Yes, the Druze religion.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Lebanon is a land of freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. And this is what we cherish. And in the Shuf mountain area, we have 8% of the community that
Mhm.
believe in reincarnation. They
Oh,
believe that God himself has been reincarnated many times, and his last and final one took place in Cairo in 11th century in a person called Al-Hakim bi Amrillah. So they are a branch from the Muslim Shia religion, but they are not considered Muslim by the Muslims because they don't follow the 5 pillars of the Islam. They only give money for poor people. They don't fast for Ramadan. They don't pray 5 times per day. They don't have the mosque. They pray in a khalwa. And they have a secret book called the Book of Wisdom.
Oh, okay.
And if you are following this religion, you have to wear a special outfit for men and for women. It's black and white.
Oh, okay.
It's common also in Syria, in Jordan.
Right.
Also, we have Druze. It's very interesting.
Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah. So I think
Yes.
definitely for tailor-made tours, we can add that in so that, everyone gets their experience. Whoever
Definitely.
wants to kind of experience it. Yes. And one question, maybe we know the answer, but is it possible to cross the border from Lebanon into Israel?
For the time being, no. We have indirect negotiation with Israel to make the limitation for the sea because we discovered petrol offshore, and we have sea that are common also with Israel. So they are now negotiating.
Right.
Maybe in the future, we will make peace with all our neighbors, no problem. But for the time being, no, it's not possible to cross to Israel. And also, if your clients do have a Israeli stamp on their passport, they are not allowed to come to Lebanon. So be careful. They should make a new one, or if they go to Israel, to make a stamp on different separate.
Yeah, they give a paper visa these days, so it doesn't get stamped on your passport. Yeah.
Yes.
But that issue is not with any other country. It's only like Israeli stamp, which kind of can be a problem getting a Lebanese visa.
Yes, only that. This is the actual situation.
And how is it for a single female traveler to travel around Lebanon?
Amazing. Females are definitely welcome. It is not like in other countries where they will be stared at. It is normal. They feel welcome. They feel secure. And they can stay in hotels. They can go to restaurants, bars, enjoy tours. It is relatively secure.
Oh yes, I think the late
for
night culture, as we
single
saw
travelers.
The girls driving around on their own, young girls going around everywhere, and safety and security really didn't seem an issue in any way. In fact, I felt safer there than in many other places, I would say. So,
welcome, anytime.
Thank you. And I think that's all the questions we have. So yeah, the next 2 events, they're as shown on our screen here. And do look out for our newsletter and registration details on our events page. And as always, a recording of this event will be available on our events page very soon. Thank you all once again for joining us today. And thank you, Pauline, for an amazing tour of Lebanon. We really, really hope to get there as soon as we possibly can. We look forward to seeing all of you in 2 weeks for part 1 of our Himalayan series, Bhutan. Please note the early start time of that because of the time difference between Bhutan and UK. We will be having that event at 11 a.m. Meanwhile, enjoy your evening, stay safe, goodbye.
Goodbye, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Pauline, thank you everyone.